Alright guys, yesterday I went to the league teacher meeting. It's the last one of the year and learned some information. So I wanted to go over with you today just because I don't know that we'll have enough time to meet really quickly here. So here's some information for you. First of all, I'm going to put a handout in each of your boxes. If you're interested in obtaining a master's degree specializing in autism, there's a federal grant. It's called Project START, and you can get all of it paid for, and then all you have to do is take the GRE and do an application. So there's quite a bit of information you need to know about it, but if you want to know, I'll put the handout in your box. So be looking for it, or talk to me. I can give you some more information. We are going to have to fill out, even though I feel like we've already done this for main campus, we're going to have to fill out a profile sheet. I'll get this passed out to you as well. Go ahead and start working on it so it's easy. Kelly Mahalski, she's one of the SPED people that said that we need to do this. It's for 10th graders going to Maine. You'll fill out as much as you can. It's going to go in the folder that you're going to send over as well. I need these by June 1st because I need to take them over to main campus, and last year I didn't get to do that till beginning of this school year because we weren't ready. So in that folder, make sure all you really have in it is the TPI, the class testing, and just no extra info. Don't include parent contact, don't include your data, don't include anything extra. Just include those 3 pieces of information, really. All you really need is that profile sheet, TPI, and class. So make sure you do that. Okay, next year projections, just to let you know, we'll be on a Google form. They're still working it out. I'm not real excited about this only because it's all about being kept updated, but maybe that'll help, and then we'll just have to do the training together next year and see how that works. So just something to look forward to. ARD minutes. Right now, the principal at the ARD takes those ARD minutes. However, I guess at a lot of schools, the contact teachers have been doing this, and there's a lot of hubbub about this, but mainly we'll follow the template that the principals follow. But that being said, it's important to know that even when those principals are taking the minutes, they do not have to include everything we've been including. If something's already in the ARD document, it's already in the IEP, then it doesn't need to be addressed. And that's usually what gets us in trouble, is when we offer little pieces like, well, I bet we could write an email to the parent every week to let them know what's going on in the kid's class. Well, even though that sounds great, we're only really required to do that every 3 weeks, and you're setting a precedent, and if it's written down in the deliberations, then guess what? You're held to it. So I'm going to go ahead and recommend that you read deliberations from last year. When you get your new students for this next year, read over those deliberations as well, maybe print them out, see if there's any promises that were made. Sometimes that happens because we get into ARD meetings and parents ask for things, and if it gets written down, it's also law. So that IEP is the entire ARD document. So make sure you read that small stuff because that's part that can come back, and then if we need to readdress through a pack, well, then we can do that. So just make sure we're looking at that. All right. Everyone is required to go to an Achieve Cs 2.0 training. It's the new Cs program and the changes that are going to happen. The dates are on there, 16th, 18th, or the 23rd of July. You got to attend at least one of those. If you don't, you'll have to go to the August 14th training. And it could count as your August trade day, but if you attend one of the June, July dates. But every teacher, every special ed teacher, I keep saying it because they were big on that, must attend at least one of these trainings. So just make sure you go. Eduphoria will open up on May 1st with more summer offerings for the different, November trade days that we need to get done. There is one that's available. It's Reading Boot Camp. It's 4 days, but it's also offered next year during the year. And it's really just for ELA teachers, so that would be Dominich and myself. All right, the new Foundations graduation program. This is really important. Some of this has already affected some of our kids we have now. Kids can graduate in only 22 credits, but however, if you know something about those 22 credits, they can't have any of those credits be local credits. And since we know the enrichment, the all-year classes, they all have algebra and geometry have had the enrichment class, so those 2 credits don't count towards our graduation. So essentially, if a kid, took all state credits, and I think that even includes teen leadership, but I could be wrong, but I think teen leadership is a local credit. We got to be really careful. If you have a kid that you know we got to sign up. Social skills is another one that only counts as a local credit. So we don't want to put social skills down for a kid every year if we know this is a kid that might need to graduate early. 22 credits is pretty exciting for them. So anyway, more information to come, but just look forward to it. Some of y'all, last year we were picked as one of our schools to get audited. But this year we did not. So you can see the schools that did get audited for their ITPs. That doesn't mean don't do a good job, but luckily we are not on that list. But look who the last one is. Dr. Alexander went over child abuse and neglect. First of all, you have to report it within 48 hours. If you think it, you have to report it. You can tell the administrator after you report it. That's a local LISD requirement. It's not actually state law. But however, it's always good to let the principal know that there could be a CPS worker coming onto their campus. So go ahead and tell administration after that you've done this. You don't want to be talked out of it because that's not how child abuse reporting works. If you think it, you must report it. If a parent was to come to you after it happened and say, did you report this? If we all say as a company line, this information is confidential, I can either confirm or deny, then that keeps us all safe. Maybe I wasn't the one to report it, but you were. I'm going to say this just the same way for you. That way they're not going to do a countdown of all the people involved with the kid. So this is one of those things. So even if you don't report it, we want to protect all the individuals that might have. If everyone says the same thing, we're good. However, you can't report child abuse or neglect if you think a child should be on a particular type of med. This seems like, like you should understand this. Just because you think a kid is hyperactive does not mean you can call CPS and say, oh my gosh, I think they should be reported because the parent's neglecting the kid because they're not putting their kid on Ritalin or something like that. No, you're not reporting in good faith, and this can be used against you. However, there is the good faith policy that keeps you safe when you do report a child abuse incident. That won't be held against you if you're doing something because you think it, then or you've been told, or a child put you in that situation, or there's marks or bruises. Then, of course, you're going to report it. Don't think twice about it. However, if a parent wasn't given their child life-saving meds and you knew for that for sure, or you at least thought that about life-saving meds, ones that the kid would die from if they didn't take them, if you think this was happening, then it could be neglect and you should call. Imminent danger, you should call CPS. There is the website. If you don't think it's imminent, if it's some discussion, you can use the website. I've done that before. You can't ask someone else to report it for you. You can't report someone else's information about child abuse. Don't assume that just because you know that CPS has been involved in the past that they have it taken care of. Go ahead and report it again. If you report one time in the year and it comes up again, you're going to report it again. Obviously, you're trying to get, help for this kiddo. So maybe, the first time it's not, it's looked into, it's not a bad situation, or they kind of deem it as that's not really child abuse. Happens again, at least it's getting on CPS's idea list, and so they'll keep looking back into it. There is a new parent guide to the ARD process and procedural safeguards. I'm going to put a copy of each of these in your box. You might not have ever read these before. You might want to do so because this is what a parent gets if there's ever a situation, and so I just want you to be aware. I am going to forward you an email from Susan Standish, one of our directors. She's actually retiring, but I'm going to forward you the ARD Minute PowerPoints for let you go over it and read over it. Make sure you do that. You really want to know what that includes, how that can come back to haunt you, and what we do in the situation, if there's a disagreement. All right, guys. Well, that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions, please come and see me. Otherwise, I'm going to hope that every one of you reads this and listens to it and email me back because I'll know that you did it if you email me to let me know that you listened to it. Have a good day. Bye.